Well, locking it, Chairman, let's call the meeting to order.
Let's do it.
Okay. Paul, lead us in the pledge.
You mentioned briefly.
Okay.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I've not heard from Clifton, so we have no idea where he is. Public comments.
It's not bad.
Just
Thank you.
Thank you. Just on here because I turned around. Mr. Chairman, my name is Rob Collins. I live on 260 Stoneham Road. And first, I would like to congratulate the Board of Selectmen on the openness and transparency of the deliberations and business. As a concerned citizen and observer of the government of the town of Brookfield, I don't have any reason to doubt that the Board of Selectmen have embraced the spirit and letter of the requirements of New Hampshire RSA 91A, the right to know law. You give us, the citizens, reason to believe that our government is working for us because your meetings are well publicized and conducted in the open. The motions are clearly stated and the votes are clearly made and recorded. In short, I think the people have every opportunity to know what is happening, why it is happening, and have a forum to influence the process if they desire. And thank you for that. Secondly, I'd like to make a request. A slightly murky portion of most meetings of the Board of Selectmen is the signing of the checks. I say it is murky not because I think anyone's trying to hide anything. Instead, there are a lot of details that are not clearly stated in a way that the public can understand. In general, the checks that are written by the town are subject to 91A requests, which is why you conduct the business in a public meeting rather than non-public. However, I am requesting that, for each meeting, the Selectmen have the Treasurer prepare a list of checks to be signed, make the list available to the public at the meeting, if not as part of the agenda, and include the list as part of the minutes of the meeting. I do not have a specific format in mind, but perhaps something that includes the following information for each check. Check number, the amount, the budget line that is being charged, the payee, and maybe some comments and notes about what the payment's for. I understand that some checks will be related to non-public actions of the board. In these cases, I would ask that the checks still be listed, but in place of the non-public information, for example, the payee and comments, supply the reason that the information is not public, maybe using RSA 91A 3.2, which would be the reasons, for example, going into a non-public session, and the date of the related non-public meeting so that we can cross-reference when those check details would become unsealed, when those meeting minutes would become unsealed. I expect that this summary information will not require any significant effort for the Treasurer, and it would be of significant benefit to both the public and the board. Sincerely, Rob Collins.
I don't have a problem with it at all. I'm speaking for myself. Except, and you did take care of the clarification for confidential information where that couldn't be public.
I think it would be very easy for Mary Lou to prepare the report after we approved the checks, because I think she used QuickBooks, which means she could just print them out, but it'd be a week after we approved them. Would that be okay, or do you want to see them before we approve them?
My desire would be to see them before they're approved. I mean, ideally, they'd be part of the business for this meeting. So last Thursday or Friday, whenever the agenda is distributed, if they were part of that, then a citizen could look at the agenda and say, holy crap, why are we spending X, Y, and Z on this? And then come in and express an opinion before it's already a done deal, right? That would be my desire. Mary Lou clearly has the checks ready for you to sign at the meeting.
The way the process works, and we just tweaked it a little bit. On the weekend before the meeting, she'll put the invoices in our office. We will check the invoices to make sure we understand, we know what we're signing, because a lot of bills come in, and we want to make sure that we understand what we're signing and that we agree with it. We then give them back to Mary Lou, and does she bring the checks in then? No. Sometimes she does. Sometimes the checks are left for us to sign at a later time. So there's two signings we go through. The ones at the meeting, and generally they're the pretty straightforward ones. And then the ones we pick up in the box during the week when the checks are actually cut.
Okay, so thanks for the clarification. So according to 91A, you guys cannot deliberate or make decisions in a non-public setting.
That's
We
correct.
don't do it, we don't meet
Right, so you
together.
can't decide or deliberate or decide not to pay a check outside of a public meeting.
That's correct. We don't. We review them privately, not as a board.
So how does Mary Lou know which ones
We leave a note.
to print and bring here for your signatures?
Okay.
We have a concern, no, I think you're bringing up some very good things. We tried to tweak it, and then we're gonna untweak it, just to save time at the meeting and going over, routine bills that, the electric bill and all that type of stuff. So, we write our comments down if we have an issue, and I know I'll put mine and refuse to sign anything until that is answered, and it usually comes up at the meeting.
See, we initial the invoice that we've seen it and we want Mary Lou to cut the check.
Yeah.
She'll bring the check the next Tuesday, and that's when we sign it. I have no problem trying to get the public involved before we, I mean, that's great. If someone sees something they think they want to talk about, I think that's super.
Because they're all printed in the town report. I mean, you get the checks.
Right, there's nothing, there's
nothing to hide.
the majority of this, there's nothing that.
If you just give us some time to work with Mary Lou when she's back,
Oh,
and kept
absolutely.
going with the procedure, I don't have a problem whatsoever. And were you realistic to the fact that there'll be certain checks that we cannot be specific about, who it's going to for, maybe a welfare issue or something. But other than that, I don't have a problem. It's all public.
Yeah, I think we should at least, even in those cases, know that something is going through for welfare or whatever, and how much it is, right? We don't have to know who it's for.
Right,
But
but
it's
again, in the town report, because it lists
Right, it's hitting the budget, right?
$4,000 in welfare or whatever it happens to be. Being a small town, though, and I can understand where you're coming from, but being such a small town, and we can make sure that the welfare person's privacy is protected, I don't have a problem. I think it would be the only thing. Being such a small town, sometimes that
I
could be an
understand.
issue.
I think that we should, I mean, the spirit of 91A is to protect those people in those cases, right? And so if you felt like you needed to, like, say, not have the amount or whatever, so this check number went to welfare, and then quarterly, maybe you say,
Sure.
okay, this much hit welfare across these 9 checks or whatever, right? Or I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, it sounds reasonable. I mean, we got to print out, Mary Lou gives us every month on where we are on these accounts, but no, that sounds fine to me. Can't speak for Mary Lou, and I can't speak for Clifton. And if we can address it at our next meeting when these two are here, that would be great.
I don't think, I'm not sure that it'd be something that you need to make a motion on. I think it's the,
No, just the mechanics of doing it.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay. Any other public comments? Hearing none. Approval of minutes. We had some suggestions. You tweaked a couple of things we thought or made adjustments
I
in.
have you were thrown into the contest, yeah.
The what?
You were thrown into the contest, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to it. Go ahead, let Rich see what he's going to do.
Well, I'll make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes as presented.
I second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Treasurer's report. No treasurer. All right. Tax collector. Town clerk. Town clerk! Anything you want to say? Hearing nothing. Administrative assistant. Assessor clerk.
Better jump in if you're going to jump in.
All right, I just gotta make sure we do the assessor versus the administrative. I don't wanna get in trouble, although Clifton's not here to get in trouble. Rich and I went through some of the reports that we can run within the Avatar system. And we thought it'd be nice if we showed you how we are as far as assessing the money that comes in and everything versus our last tax warrant.
Could you explain that?
This is
Because we have
now-
people that would like to know what's
Which is
something.
All right, I'll try. We signed, during the year, the Board of Selectmen signed abatements. And is that the right word? I think it's abatements, where we changed the value of people's assessment. We've been seeing, from my opinion, a fair amount go through.
Yeah.
So the question that I raised was, what's happening to the total assessed value in the town? Because even though the budget's staying flat, as the assessed value changes, our tax rate can change. Right? So Jessica ran a report that shows, as of what day, I don't know.
August, I wrote it down.
Okay, as of 8/22, the total assessed value in this town is $106,372,000 some dollars. So now the question is, what was the warrant for last December? How much was it? And the number was,
It's on the next page.
thank you. The change was $300,000. The value of the property in the town came down $300,000
Yeah.
over the past year because of the action that the board's taken and the assessors have taken. So, well, that's $300,000 worth of assessed value. Then we got to take our budget and divide it into that to find out what the tax rate is.
Right.
So, that was an FYI. That's one report that you
It's
had
just,
that
yeah,
was
it's just
interesting.
informational.
Now, if you've watched the tapes or been here, when these go down, we always go,
Well,
Maybe we should have a board that we keep a running total where they go down or they go up, because sometimes they go up.
Yes.
Could
But
you-
what's-
Could you repeat the numbers one more time? It's $300,000 out of 106 million, roughly?
Total assessed value is $106,300,000. Well, you can look at the report.
I
300,000.
just-
106,300. 106,300,000. Last year, it was 106,600,000. So it's 300,000 about lower assessed value. We had a bunch of property that went into current use that we were taxing at, remember, 120 or 100, and it went down to 200,000. That was one of the big ones.
Yeah, that was huge.
So if math is right, that's like 1/3% drop,
About.
so.
300,000 drop?
Over a million. It's over 100 million.
What are you talking about? 18 to 20% drop?
Oh, I don't think it's that high, no. No.
Sure, why wouldn't it be?
Well, if it's 100 million, then 1 million would be 1%.
Oh, okay. So what effect does it have on the tax rate for the December?
Well,
We still have to go through the next few months too, so.
But it's obviously going to raise it.
yeah, I don't think it's going to be as significant as I thought it was going to be. Because, we saw those current uses come through. And I thought, wow. Even though we keep tight reins on the budget, the rate's going up just because of assessed values going down, no building.
Right. Having to go the other direction, sometimes somebody will put an addition on the house and we'll get some money going the other direction, but it's a time lag to it.
Yeah.
The assessments
Come in
are-
April,
Right.
we'll have a different figure. When they do pickups and everything from all the permits that were pulled this year, so.
Is that the April
Yeah.
1st number? No, what number?
No, that went back to the tax warrant.
Okay.
Remember, we just picked a date, basically, so. But if you want any other numbers, I can change the dates on anything, and we can go from there. Next month, if you want me to run another one, I can run another one.
Well, it'd be interesting
You know
to
what I
see
mean?
where
It is
list
interesting to
of the,
see.
where they go
Right.
down, and just
Yeah.
a running list from the beginning to the end, which ones have gone down, or anything that's gone up, adjustments,
Yeah,
that might be,
yeah, it's
Would be helpful.
just good, but we just wanted you to
Yeah,
know
that's
that
very
there's
good.
different reports that we can run,
sometime in probably October, November, we will go down, they used to come here, but lately we have to go down to Concord, and we meet to set the tax rate, and I guess the public's invited, there's nothing secret about it. And what the DRA has is they have all their calculations that they use, and they'll sit there and they just use their computer, you change this and you change that, and it's pretty, and again, remember now, you're projecting in October how you're gonna end the year. So it's a lot of it is a projection of what you're going to do and how much money you're gonna take in and that type of thing, so we're using a projection. And usually at that time, we'll decide if we're going to take money out of our sort of reserve fund that we have. Any extra monies we get in above and beyond, say we have a budget of $1 million, for the sake of argument, and we spend 900, that extra 100,000 will go into the reserve fund. We can't touch it. So it's in there as a reserve. So that reserve fund then can be tapped. Well, sometimes I'm thinking about it, I think sometimes they might just tax it at the lower rate. Well, I didn't think about that for a second. We only spend 900,000, I think that's what they'll end up using. But if we get extra money in, we can't spend it. That's the difference. We get extra money and all of a sudden we get an extra $200,000 in. We cannot spend the $200,000. We're limited to spend what was approved by the town. And that $200,000 goes into the reserve, not the, it's what we spend.
The majority of this 300,000 was parcels put into current use.
Yeah, actually, I can run a report for that. And just looking up a couple, I did put down, one was the utilities. That was huge. They got an abatement for utilities, and that was 250,000 right there.
Oh.
You know, so there's quite a bit.
The next big one
Quite a
is
bit.
current use.
Current use, 137,000.
Yeah.
Another current use for 90,000. Another one for 141. So it's huge.
We added on, when we did this, we assessed per, how did we come up with the number, the original number for the utilities? Avatar came in as original numbers, which we used, and then all of a sudden they sent us a letter that we need to settle for half of that. Is my memory correct on that?
Right. Yep.
So there, all of a sudden that put us off some money.
Yeah, quite a bit.
So the majority of it was nothing you had any control over.
Oh, no,
That's
it
what
never
it's-
is. I mean, it's not something we don't, you know what I mean? It's always something that happens, so, yeah.
Any other questions on that?
If we run low on money, we can just hit the road agent stuff, right?
Absolutely. He's always volunteering his money.
I don't think he's listening.
He'd be running in here if he was.
My next thing is the Department of Revenue. They're changing their equalization process, and there's a training class that I'd like to go to. I know I talked to other assessor clerks, and they were all signed up. It's in Concord, so I just wanted to let you know about that. I don't know about the date yet. It's all on Wednesdays, so I'm not sure when, but I can let you know
Okay.
about that. I have a couple letters that were drafted due to a selectman meeting, our last one, but I need the chairman to sign them.
Okay.
So,
Can I see those things?
yeah.
Well, do we have a thing to sign for Mary Lou?
I looked in the box, that's not in the box.
Yeah, Rich asked me about that.
You
and
didn't take it?
I
I
didn't get
didn't hear. I
anything.
forgot to look. I forgot to look.
I looked. and
Oh, no, wait a minute. Did I? I signed it. I do know that.
Okay.
But I didn't take it.
Don't look at me, I didn't
Did
even
you
know
sign
about it.
No, I didn't see it.
Until tonight. That's odd.
We have to submit to the state
September 1st.
by September 1st what they call the MS4, which is tweaking the financial state of the town. Additional revenues, additional expenditures, and they're just trying to get ready for that tax setting process. So Mary Lou put together her best guess with access to the data. We were going to finalize it and sign it. I didn't see it.
We have to call her. Find out what's happening.
Oh, she's in California.
Hey, it's early in California. We'll see. Wait and see if Clifton comes and see what happens in case he picked it up
Yeah.
or he signed it. I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll have to call her though because we have to get that out.
I think that's all I have though. That's it.
And we have a couple of letters
Well, yeah, if you want to read
that we're
it.
going to have to deal with.
One has to do with somebody who has requested to put a travel trailer type thing on their property, and we responded to that and went over there what is and what is not allowed in the town.
It was a case of an emergency. And the zoning says no travel trailers. So we're going to allow it bounded for the duration of the construction. And most insurance companies, if you have something catastrophic that happens to your house, the first thing they do is they bring in some sort of temporary housing, hook up to your electric, hook up to your septic system while they rework your house. Our zoning says no. So
We're in a situation that we think that it would be the best interest, and we've allowed certain things under circumstances that we're not setting up new territory.
and the other letter is for
The signs. Neighborhood watch signs. Okay, Agricultural Commission, Cable Committee, Cemetery Trustees, Code Enforcement. Code Enforcement,
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
your turn up.
Not a lot going on, but I do want to get permission to call the town attorney to talk with her about the town's ability to maybe impose a fine or a fee, or sometimes I call it doomage, when people start work before they get a permit. How we should handle that, because there's an awful lot of it going on. You know, I try to work with people, and I don't know if that's being taken advantage of or what, but there's a lot of people calling, oh, by the way, I need to get a permit, and when I pay for this, can I get it inspected? You know, that sort of thing. Or just stopping by and asking people if they got a permit, knowing well that they don't. Oh, well, I wasn't sure I needed one. I said, well, I'm only a phone call away. So I think we should, it's gotten to a point now where I think we should look into doing something about it.
Where is it specified what the fees are? We have that someplace.
On the permit, it says $5 per 1,000 of assessed value, which is a program that Avatar put together. I believe it was for Bob Leonard when he was, I'm using the same program as Bob Leonard did at Avatar. It's you just fill out the square footage and, you know, certain criteria from a plan, and it spits out a value. And it comes surprisingly close. I've checked it several times, and it's very, very close to a value.
But it's not in any of our official documentation, town documentation. If someone goes to the website and says, I want to do this,
It may be, I haven't looked for it, but it should be there somewhere. I bet it's.
Yeah, this has been around for a while. But
oh yeah, I can remember Ed bringing this up before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll look into the verbiage where it is in writing, other than on the permit itself.
And ask the attorney where we should put it, so it's.
I don't know as if we want to put that in writing as a separate line item, because then if we ever decide to change it, you got to go back. I believe it's appropriately done the way it is, but I will check with her on all of that.
Okay.
Okay.
Get back.
Makes
So
sense.
do I have permission to call her and?
Just don't talk on. No, I'm sure you do. Yep. Can't wait to hear what you find out.
Yep.
Road agent.
We installed all the new signs when we got them last week.
Good.
And
The speed limit signs.
speed limits, children at play, road names, and some others. We ground up Stone Road today. We got that compacted down and did some grading.
Mm-hmm. How close are you for the completion of that project?
It's probably actually, in reality, going to be end of September before because now that they've ground it, we're going to replace the street culverts we have to replace. And then we have to schedule trucks to have gravel brought in and compact that, and then schedule paving.
Okay.
And I talked with him actually tonight before I came here, and that's what he told me. He says, so it looks like we'll probably be at the end, near the end of September, which is 3 weeks, in the fourth week.
Yeah, it's not that far off.
No, it really isn't.
Yeah.
So,
Good. Other than that,
other than that,
any building permits or anything to try to get some income?
Nope.
Okay. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Conservation Commission, Emergency Management Director. I did go to a meeting because the deputy went to a meeting today that was held up in the county office where Ed has their meetings that he goes to. And they had a meeting in regards to the area, same woman who came to our last meeting, but it had to do with the medical, I can't think of the official name of it, the medical portion of what they will do in a medical emergency and how they will handle that. And there were representatives from different communities. It was very interesting presentation. Not presentation, because they gave out more detailed manuals than we were given, but it was interesting going through it and looking at it. So for example, in an emergency, it mentioned our place that we would go, we're assigned to go to Tuftonboro. Ossope's another spot. You know, a little closer to Ossipee than to Tuftonboro, but they broke it up by population, so that there'd be X number. You can go to either one you want. So if you had an emergency, you can go to any, you know, say it was an epidemic or something, or pandemic or something, you can go to any place you want to go. But I guess they're trying to split up into equal numbers of medications or whatever they were doing to roughly the same number of people at each location. So that's why we were assigned to Tuftonboro, to get the number equal, but it was a long haul.
And we had that meeting on hazard mitigation,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't a presentation, but it's the beginning of the process to develop the document. So
Okay.
it was a round table with, well, Ed was there, Brad was there, I represented the selectmen, and we're going to have 3 or 4 additional meetings to fill out that document.
Well, the documentation that we had for this meeting, it was just very impressive. I mean, they had that right down, very, very impressive. So, okay, forest fire warden.
Nothing to report, no?
Okay. School district? Heritage Commission? Oh, did the school open yet? I mean, school year start?
No, day after Labor Day.
Day after Labor Day, okay. Heritage Commission? Joint loss? Planning board?
Next meeting, September 10th.
Okay. Other. Planning board update. We were going to get some...
Wait. That's for zoning. He's in the other.
Oh, ZBA? Oh, yeah, I didn't mention ZBA. That's on here. Hey,
Jump right in.
It's in
it should be on
others, because he's not here. No.
there. No, it should be on there. ZBA, sorry.
Yeah.
That's proposed members, when their terms would expire and who stepped down. If you want to
Oh, I
talk
have
to
one, thank you.
Okay.
And you got the terms of people rotated. Good. And I'm still your person for the selectmen.
Okay.
As your selectman. Yeah.
Yep, and the question is, are you a voting member on that board or not?
No.
He is not. Okay. You have a copy?
I do, thank you.
I think I voted before, though.
Not as a selectman's rep.
I don't know if I'm a planning board at the time. I'm trying to think of... All right, I can think of the... I'll have to look it up. I mean, she wasn't supposed to vote. I don't know. Well, I think it was...
I seem to recall you were an alternate.
Pardon?
I think you were an alternate that was seated.
Oh, because I'm thinking of the farm down here. Yeah, maybe it was an alternate on it.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
You were an alternate.
I was an alternate, okay.
Went to selectman's rep.
Okay.
An alternate, as a selectman's rep, is he considered an alternate?
No.
No. That's right, I was, yes, I forgot. I was an alternate at that time, and I was, yes, probably was in selectman at the time, 3.5 years. Because I was busy thinking of the farm down here when that came up. Okay, thank you for doing that. Nate Fogg, perambulation. Anything from...
Not for me.
He's only he's about a year behind on doing this.
Clifton was supposed to.
And he was supposed to go around and check the markers, and he had 1 to go. And we've been after him probably for 9 months to finish it up and get the job done. And Clifton was going to contact him to see what's happening. Thank you letters to community service. Clifton was going to run those. Lighting in the townhouse bathroom.
It has been fixed.
It has been fixed. Good. Follow up on the town clerk conference procedures. I didn't think we were doing anything immediately on that.
No, we'll wait for Clifton, but we can set guidelines.
Yes.
We can set guidelines, and I think we should write some guidelines up and document what our policy is.
Okay.
We'll wait for Clifton to come and help us do that.
Right. The problem became on going to conferences, when the conferences are overnight, under when is our responsibility and not our responsibility for doing that. And it was a discussion we had at the last meeting. And Virginia shows up. Just.
Magic. We're going to talk about it. Yes.
So anyway, we decided at the last meeting that we're going to look at that. So for example, you as an officer in your organization, the question came, would your organization be responsible to pay for that night, given that you're doing organization business rather than the town of Brookfield voters? So,
I doubt it. There's a lot of us, the committee, it's a big committee.
well, that's,
We go there to get everything ready for the next morning.
well, our concern is, again, we're representing the voters and their budget, whether it's our responsibility to do that. So that's going to be covered down the road. You're all set for this year,
Yes, thank you.
but we're going to
I know.
really
I won't
look at
argue
it.
when this shall wait till next year.
I'm going to argue next year. So,
But it's in my budget. Anyway,
No, that's
I
when you
don't
know.
even spend a quarter of my budget. You can see that.
well, we got the, anyway, we're going to look at it and go from there, and you're welcome for your input on it. Nobody opposed going to the budget, going to the workshop. Nobody opposed paying mileage. The question came too, because it was so close. When is the guideline for paying? Should there be a distance involved? If it was held in Wolfboro, should we pay, I'm using that, should we pay for somebody to stay overnight when they can just drive to Wolfboro? What are our expectations for
Well,
that?
you can't use Wolfboro, that's too close.
I know, but I'm just using that, or Conway, or Rochester, or Dover, or whatever.
It's too far to go and have everything ready the next morning. I have to be at the registration desk at 8 o'clock in the morning. That means I have to set everything up the night before, so it's all ready for the clerks to come in and check in. And that's quite a job to get that ready early in the morning. So I could never go home and then come back, and then go home and come back. I can't do that.
Okay.
Absolutely can't.
Well, this will be discussed later on, and we appreciate we don't have Clifton here, and
Okay.
I'm sure we'll hear from you.
Oh, you will.
Good. Thank you very much.
You got a comment?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm curious, I think the proposal was that the committee would perhaps pay for that additional night. I'm curious how that committee is funded. Is that something that we're essentially funding anyway? And so we're going to, if the committee's picking that up, we're going to end up paying for it anyway, in a sense? Or
We don't know what the committee pays. Do they pay for anybody's stay at the convention?
The only people they pay for are people whose town cannot afford it, and they give them a scholarship.
Are any officers paid for?
Excuse me?
Are any officers
No.
paid for their,
No. The town's pay for it. And that's in the RSA.
well, it's in the RSA, but it doesn't say we have to pay for the setup. It has to pay for them to attend the
For the-
conference, and it doesn't
3
say we have
days.
to pay overnight.
Right.
So that's where you get,
So there's no committee that,
okay, so we don't know, but we don't. So if we don't pay for it, does it either just not happen, or somebody else pays for it? And if somebody else pays for it, then where's that money coming from?
Let me ask it differently. Does the town pay town clerk association dues?
yes,
Okay. So the town does pay the association dues,
yes.
and
they
that's the
do.
association meeting?
$20 a year.
we've never squawked or balked at having you go. The question comes to overnight staying when it's the distance that's involved, and the other issue could be whether the first night, if you're working in their capacity, whether the town should pay for that or not. So,
It's the first night you're questioning, not the rest of it.
well, it could be, if it's close, should we pay for overnight? What's the distance involved? You're going to a workshop in Concord, okay, coming up, it was a
Okay.
2-day workshop. Should we be paying for an overnight stay, or should we be paying mileage for 2 days? That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, well, we never did that. We never stayed overnight when we went to Concord in more than one day. We came back and you went back the next day.
Okay,
Because
well,
they usually don't start until about 9 in the morning, right? The sessions?
Yeah.
Like Lisa's going next week. And she's not staying over, she's coming home.
okay, well, that's where we're at, and we're obviously no decision.
Concord
but
is
We
it-
don't
further than
expect to
Conway.
stay over. We
Concord
don't expect
is
to
a lot
stay
further.
over for something like that. It's
Yeah.
the conference that we stay over because there's so much work to do during the day. And then by the time you get through with all the sessions and have dinner, then it's too late to go to your home and then turn around and go back again the next day.
Mhm. Okay. To be decided, or be
Okay.
discussed, okay? New business. One of the things we have to discuss is the upcoming election. What are the hours for the election?
8 to 7,
For the primary?
yes. All state elections are 8 to 7.
I was thinking it was
Towns
short.
are different,
Somehow. Okay, so 8 for 7, and the primary date is September
11.
11th, and the general election is November 6th, and it'll be the same thing, 8 to 7.
So we need to set up for that and try to get a hold of Clifton and whatever that we can set up that, the booths. The need for a selectman to be present all day, there has been question of whether that's accurate information or
I
not.
think it is.
I've had somebody say that it is not,
Oh, well.
technically,
I'll
so.
look that up. I'll look it up in my book.
If you
Do
could
have
look it up in your
a
book,
To look up all these things, election book?
No, I don't have an election book.
maybe one in the other room.
Oh, I don't know if you want to look at it.
But, the question always came, and we do like to be here. For example, as a candidate myself, I would like to go and visit the different things, and would it be a problem with me being here because I'm a candidate?
I believe there could be.
So,
I mean, obviously you can't come in and campaign, we know
Oh,
that,
yes,
everybody
yes,
knows
right.
that. And so as far as you, I'd have to look that up, I forget. We haven't had too many people on the ballot.
so it's just something that I thought of, and I said, well, standing here, would that be a problem because I'm a candidate? I mean, obviously if I wore big pin,
Well, you couldn't wear anything.
yeah,
Nothing.
asking, but there are issues, and so we do need to check if a selectman has to be here, and if somebody can't be here, Clifton's work and I can't be here, if you were busy or something like that, then what happens? So we've got to work that out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. So, and the other thing is just to get it set up. Okay, any other business to come before the board? We may have some checks and stuff that we have to look at.
Are we still having the selectmen meeting that day at 6:30? One time I know we moved it to Wednesday.
That's 2 weeks from tonight, I think, the selectmen's meeting.
Well, I never thought about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we should think about it,
Because we have to post.
right, and we can't be here.
Right.
We have to do it over there.
Do you have any suggestions from your perspective? I don't know if we've got any important information that we could...
Generally, it's just the checks. But we're talking about a new process for the checks anyway.
And we have some
Next door.
outstanding stuff too, because Clifton's not here.
Right.
We have a lot of outstanding.
Well, I think we should meet, and we'll just meet
I'll let you borrow my book.
next door.
You should have everything you want to know in it.
And
Thank you.
I think we should meet and just meet next door
Okay.
and make that the meeting place. We may want to begin at 7. That would be an answer too.
That's an option too.
Unless you want to meet in another week, every week in between. No?
No.
Okay. All right, so we'll be the usual. We'll start at 7 and we'll be in the building next door.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Planning board would be meeting here on Monday. Maybe we should contact the chairman of the planning board to let him know that there's not going to be space in here? I assume you're going to be setting up Monday.
I'm hoping maybe we can set up on Sunday. Usually I have a neighbor or somebody down the road that sometimes helps out. And I don't know.
But I mean, if the room isn't really available on Monday, we should make sure the planning board chairman is
Okay.
aware of that. And if you'd like, I'm happy to shoot him an email, but.
Sure. Realistically, I doubt it will be available. And we should definitely have it set up before.
That's right.
And you can sit, there aren't too many of you, you could work around in this room. It'd probably be easier to go next door.
Put a table up next door. It's more comfortable.
Okay, that
Thank
makes
you.
sense. Anybody else for misplacing?
Mr. Chairman, I just have one quick thing.
Sure.
Regards to the zoning board, there's an upcoming lecture. It's like a 2-hour thing. It's $25. Is it all right to put it out there if anybody wanted to go that was on this list? Just, it's the basics of the zoning boards.
Sounds sense?
I think so.
Yeah, sounds good.
We only get in trouble when we ask where it is.
Did your, I'll ask you later about your other issues. Well, I'll have to ask you now, were your other issues resolved with the school district?
Yeah, we just kind of backed off between my sons, probably change of heart, and I did see that letter from Jack Robertson. And I guess, I didn't want to go down that road.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry very
If
much.
my son felt really strongly about it, it would have been a different story.
Right.
I would have taken it on, but he had a little change of heart, so
Okay.
it wasn't worth the fight.
Okay, can understand. Let's see what we have in the mailbox.
And I was going to ask, where is the conference or the session you're going to?
I think it's in Portsmouth.
Okay.
I believe, I'll have to double check.
We,
I have the flyer.
so we
Remember I
just
showed it?
We won't
pay
be
mileage.
staying overnight.
We just pay the mileage. You
Sure.
should, you put in for mileage on something like that.
All right, that's fine, whatever.
I'll go in one car, please.
Well, yeah.
We never used to pay mileage at all. It's a
fairly.
fairly recent thing that, except for one person, we didn't pay for mileage for all these things. But
Some people put it in, some
some
don't.
people don't, so. If you will check in there to see if we have anything in the lockbox, or
You
you already
don't, I did.
did. And I will check from there.
I think I have that lecture in my desk.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Anything coming up that you know of yet?
There may be something, but I haven't seen anything yet. Heard something about a month and a half ago, but
That's what I heard too.
I haven't seen anything. So I'll get everything in order.
There you go. Get ready. Good luck. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
I raided Clifton's mailbox, and this could be what we're looking for.
That looks like a
Looks like it. Please sign. Yes, maybe it is.
MS4.
It says MS4.
Oh, you found it?
So it wasn't in the lockbox. It was
Wasn't
in
in
the...
Preparer's signature and title.
I looked at it. Did you look at it online?
No, I thought I saw this in the lockbox. Yeah, I did look at it online, yes. Do you see anything right here that you think needs to be addressed?
There was only, it was a small number, and that was,
And this is estimated revenues, so that could change drastically.
yeah, the one, here's the one I saw. Land use change tax. We think we're gonna get $5,000 of income because someone's coming out of current use.
We think.
We're running out of time, so that was the one that,
I don't think we had any last year.
that was the one that I saw. It was a $5,000.
But we don't have that in here.
We don't have it, I don't think we're gonna see it up there.
Okay, but if we do happen to get it, then that could be caught when we meet with the state, otherwise it'll be rolled over. And
Yeah, that's, I think this is just a preliminary planning number.
Okay. I guess I have to sign it. I don't think anybody else.
And you'll fax it and mail
Fax it tomorrow
and mail
morning.
and mail
Mhm.
it. And make a copy, please.
Oh, definitely,
What
because
did-
it never gets there.
I'm trying to remember Mary Lou's mail. She gave us some specifics. If I have it, I'll mail it to you.
Okay.
There it is. I didn't look there.
And today's date is the
28.
28th.
Mhm.
I think it's wrong, I was thinking of this one, I don't have it. It should take
Well, good.
that.
That's
Copy
good.
one.
Is there two copies?
Oh, wait a minute, what's,
Is that 4 pages?
these are two
one of
first
two.
page, what, yeah, what,
I have one of two, two of two.
and I have two of the same.
This is revenue, that is,
These are both revenue. So what do you have?
they look to be
Different page, so we need another. $26, $650.
Wow, that's yours down.
So it looks like we need two more of those. What'd you guess?
Yeah,
Okay, we can make a copy and we'll sign it.
okay.
And then we'll have a copy of it. All right, so we'll do that. In a few minutes, we'll sign it later right here.
All right.
Okay, next. Here you go. Which pile do you want? You get the good stuff.
Thank you. Ed Mason. Good mail. Coffee. Election material?
Department of Revenue.
Oh, yeah, we opened that last time.
Tax one. Oh, that's right.
Oh, we should post this. Dedication ceremony on Saturday, September 22nd, Kingswood Art Center. Open to the public. We'll put that on the board.
And here on they have our equalization value on this. This is for the state for their portion of the school tax, but they use a 2/4/1/2011, and they listed as 102. What are they doing here? Oh, of the value of the property, $102,766,197 is the value. Total equalization value, not including utilities. They weren't doing utilities then. They weren't doing utilities then. Remember, there was a big commotion whether it was going to be knocked out at court and all that.
Looks like everything.
That is.
Oh, okay.
We had an issue with the internet being down. I learned a lot about that because the internet was down because we didn't pay the bill. Thursday was it? So I spent an hour with MetroCast telling them they wanted to check in 10 days. I said, what's going to happen? You're talking to a municipality. We just don't do it that fast. And
we've gone through this before with them, and you would think at this point they would say, all right, you guys are good for the money.
She goes, well, first she says, we never turn off for a municipality because they might be slow, but they always pay. Mary Lou sent some help because Jessica was trying to get Mary Lou to help. Mary Lou says, we don't pay the bill. That's why we never signed it. It comes from the state. State pays it. So lucky we didn't give them a credit card.
At one point, we were paying, and then the state repaid us, and it got really crazy.
Oh, I mean, they were tough. That was a tough one.
Why would the state be involved in our internet service?
It's for Virginia's motor vehicle.
Yeah.
And I think we just piggyback on it. Off the router is what I think. What is this? Oh.
That's old. That's old.
These are the signs from the Department of Corrections, the bill from the Department of Corrections.
How much?
For the signs that we've received so far, $654. Collar Hill, Eaton Road, Tumbledown Dick. Stop signs.
2 stop signs.
They're about $40 a sign.
Children that play and speed limit signs. There might be a couple of do not maintain perimeter travel signs. I can't remember what they are, but Class 6 road.
Didn't see it on here this time.
I'm all set with mine.
And these are just, I have one more.
So if we stop children from playing, then we save a little bit of money?
As long as they don't take the sign down on us.
Only the slow children.
Yeah.
It says the slow children.
You gonna sign these for Clifton? I think we have to.
Sure.
All right, I'm done with the now. Bill, and
Any other business to come before the board? Any other comments? Hearing none? Meeting adjourned. Just leave before Clifton comes. All right.
I got the planning board meetings aren't this quick.
maybe you have to meet more frequently, so you get the motivation to.
I think if you're going to pay more, so
You think, the only thing I can think of.
Good, that's good.
Well, I put it down on my chart. If I don't see it there, I don't.
Well, you pick the time.
No,